It's Superhero, and you're listening to Inspirado Projecto.
The analogy of dominoes and how like one just keeps rolling. And what you're saying right now about how the first person that you pick up for the day, if they're in a good mood, the energy goes like throughout the rest of the day.
Right.
But if the first person you pick up is like, there's something going on strange, right? Do you notice that the rest of the day is kind of strange for you?
No.
Oh, no?
Actually, I'm a very easy person.
Oh, that's great.
Very easy. Not attention for everything. Just be positive, always.
I love that.
Yeah, of course. I'm a nurse, and I have to be always happy, positive, always.
Wow. How long have you been a nurse for?
Starting 2013.
And so you've been a nurse throughout that time and also an Uber driver?
Yes.
Wow.
Because I need money.
Right. So did you notice that the skills that you learned being a nurse were very helpful in doing Uber stuff?
Yes. It's very, very helpful. Everything, even in your life, during your days, you're just using everything. What do you know?
Mm-hmm. So where does your positivity stem from? To have that wonderful outlook. What kind of wonderful?
Oh, okay. Just I can give you the one information. I was born as a Scorpio. 11/11.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
I love it. That's a magic number right there.
Yes.
Wow.
I'm a really magic person.
I love it. Of course you are.
Yeah, thank you.
I love it.
And my husband always telling me it's a good sign. It's perfectly no one in all year the 4 digits as a birthday can repeat it. Just one time, just one day for all of year. 4 same the digits. 1111. No more.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's incredible. So you say you feel that you're a magic person. What kind of interesting do you appreciate synchronicities and stuff like that?
Yeah, it's like I was born with this. Even when I was 7, I'm the smallest one. My parents has 4 children. I'm the smallest one. When I went to kindergarten, when I was 6, 5. In my years, we have to go to school when you were already 7. When I went to a kindergarten alone. Yeah, alone. And then, if they're in the kindergarten, they are giving me cookies. I keep everything for my brothers and my sister, and brought to home and gave it them. When I was already 10, I was making money.
So you've always been plugged into...
Yeah, it's birth with me. Everything. Positive person, always happy. I'm absolutely not complaining. If I got some problem, very hard problem, very bad difficulty, even I'm happy.
What kind of, because you have an interesting perspective, and it's so interesting to me and curious what drives you to be able to do that. I mean, it takes a very special kind of person to be able to be a nurse, for instance.
Yes. Yeah, in my country, in Armenia, I was a teacher, the regular teacher. When I came here, I never in my life couldn't see how the nurse making an injection. It was terrible for me, even for my sons. I never seen it. But now, when my father was sick, I tried to learn the injection. It was very hard for me because when I saw the blood, I'm getting nervous. It's scary for me.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Now, absolutely. Now I can just see the cancer wound and I can treat it. It's not hard, absolutely, for me.
So it doesn't, that stuff does not affect you anymore?
No, absolutely. I'm just happy I'm healing the person, the patient.
I love it. It's
Yeah.
wonderful you're able to keep up that attitude within all those kinds of
Yes.
haywire vibrations that are going on in places like that sometimes.
That's not I'm doing because that's my job. No, I'm doing because I want to heal this person.
Right.
I want to help him. I want to, whatever I can do for this patient, I'm doing.
Have you wanted to be a nurse ever since you were little?
No, I'm just in here a nurse. Before,
So-
no.
So you started you started as a teacher, right?
Right.
And what did you teach as a teacher?
My language, Armenian. I'm Armenian.
So you were a language teacher.
Yes.
Do you have interesting dreams?
Oh, my dreams. Actually, it's just take a vacation and go relax. French, Italy, just Venetia. Yeah, because for me, sea is very scary.
The sea, the water?
Yes, I wanna try to go there because
And challenge yourself?
I have a claustrophobia, which is born with me too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Now I just wanna try to treat it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what is it about the sea, about the ocean that scared you the most?
Yes, because when I close to the sea, I think I'm gonna go to the under the water.
Oh, you think it might pull you under?
Yes, yes, that's my emotions.
Did that ever happen to you when you were a child?
No, absolutely.
Oh.
I'm okay. And my husband even tried with me, keep my hands, go to the sea, but I'm always scary.
It really is.
Yeah, it's hard for me.
How deep can you get? Can you
I
get up
think
there
it
to your
came
ankles,
genetic.
maybe?
I think it came genetic from my father.
Oh, your father was scared of the sea too.
Yes. Yeah.
What are your thoughts about past lives?
Sometimes I'm thinking what's gonna be if I'm gonna pass away. I think your soul will alive. If you will die, maybe you can see everything. You can follow your sons. What are they doing? Maybe you can give them sign. Do not do this.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that. I said you, I'm very positive.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do you have some favorite authors?
Yeah,
Who do you like?
I like Shakespeare. Yeah.
I've been thinking a lot about Shakespeare lately.
Yeah, I read so many novels from Shakespeare. Then I read many books from Mind. I remember Ascanio. Even when I was in Armenia, I read that books. Ascanio, Mind.
What's that book about?
Mind. He's American, Mind.
Oh, that's his name?
Yes.
Oh, I thought that was the name of the book. Mind Read.
Mind. The author's name.
Oh.
Yeah, the book is many books I read from Mind. Ascanio, Mind. I think Ascanio from Mind. Yeah. I'm old. Some of the things I cannot remember. Yes.
So when you're not driving Uber, you're a nurse?
Yeah.
And then what kind of nurse are you?
LVN.
What is it called?
Licensed practical nurse.
Oh, wow. And then what is
We are following the patients after surgery. If they have the wound, we need to make a dressing changing, follow the sugar, whatever.
Oh.
And then we need to report to a doctor. If something changed to a bedside, we need to report immediately. Otherwise, if the patient is okay, we are leaving the notes.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a family at home?
Yeah, my husband, my son, and my mom right now in Armenia.
Oh, so they live in Armenia?
My husband, my son here, the
Oh.
smallest son.
Oh.
But my oldest son, my mom, they are in Armenia right now.
Oh, gotcha. When was the last time you visited?
Oh, a long time ago, 7 years ago. Yeah, 7 years ago.
So what, I'd love to know, like, because I think every person who kind of considers themselves magical or magical happenings in their life, that, you know, there are things in their brain that they think about that go, oh, it's because of this, you know, that I'm magical or there's magic happening in my life. What are some of those instances that you've had in your life where you were like, wow, you know, I'm magical, like this thing is happening because I'm, you know, putting this vibe out here?
Yeah, when I was in Moscow,
Mm-hmm.
I was driving in my car very late, night time, about 12 p.m. I just opened my car door and tried to go to buy, I think gum or something my son wanting to have. And then I saw the guys trying to kill me.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, because they know if you are a girl and you are driving good car, they are just thinking she's supposed to have good money in her car.
Oh.
And I saw they are trying to kill me, 100%.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, I know that area because it was dangerous area.
So you there's my buddy over there. He's who we're picking up. That's incredible. So while you're driving out there, you had a feeling that these people were going to do something bad. And you got that warning, basically, huh?
Yeah, and then I got sign, don't go. And when I closed the door, they just ran to me.
Oh my gosh. So, and then you got out of there.
Then I'm alive. Yeah.
Oh my God. It's important for us to pay attention to those intuitions.
I got the sign.
Yeah,
that's the magic sign.
it's so important when we pay attention to those intuitions.
Yeah.
You know, you never know.
Yeah, we got the stop
What are-
sign. Now we will go to.
Yes.
Oh, Fernanda.
Hello, what is up, dude?
How's it going? Oh, good, guys. Close to my house.
We're going to be going out to Napa, and then the day after that, Monterey. We're a part of a yacht rock band. Do you know what yacht rock is? No. It's a genre. It's like soft rock. It's like
Okay, we
Hall &
need
Oates.
to make right here,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes.
The Uber shows make right here.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes,
And then another right at this next street
yes.
to more
You
park.
can be an Uber driver.
Yeah. I don't have a car.
He's like a mastermind. He's like, did you play chess by any chance? Did I ask you that?
I do, yeah. Actually.
Yeah, you got that chess mind. It's like thinking not only just like 5 moves ahead, but like thinking 25 moves ahead. And it's like we were talking earlier about the dominoes or that energy,
Yeah.
you know, when you
And
that
my
energy.
husband always telling me, you are seeing 5 steps more.
Oh,
Everything
interesting.
You can see,
Of course.
5 steps more.
Oh, of course. Oh, I love it. I love it.
Actually, the more of the Scorpios, they are very powerful and strong.
Scorpios, what? They're very
Yeah.
in tune, right?
Right.
Is that what you're saying? What is
Scorpio 1111? That's very
1111 is very magical.
yeah exclusive.
The 1111 gateway, right? Every time that comes around, zip, November 11th.
Yes.
So it's interesting. You're 1111. I'm 1124. So
Oh,
I'm
but
right
you
on the
are
cusp.
Not the Scorpio.
No, I'm Sagittarius, but I'm like
Like my
right
husband,
on the
yeah.
right on the edge. And sometimes my birthday is on Thanksgiving. Is yours ever on Thanksgiving?
No, his birthday is 1208.
Oh,
Oh, yes, 1208.
so you're 1111. What other magical things have happened to you?
Oh, maybe a lot right now. I can't remember what else.
I woke up this morning. That was pretty magical.
She's talking about how she's magical, and I was like, oh my gosh, of course, I'm talking to the right person. So I want her to spill the beans. Yeah, that is magical, waking up.
Oh, one time when I was taking a shower, it was maybe, how many? 2018. Somebody told me, get out.
You heard the voice?
Yeah, I heard the voice, get out from the shower. Then I got out from the shower. I see my mom, it's shaking. And I just grabbed her, mom. And she was already got the, not the heart attack. It's something about the heart attack, but she was very bad. She couldn't talk, she couldn't stand. When I just grabbed her and shake her, and then she just said to me, what's happened? What are you doing?
Whoa. So you shook her
Yeah.
out of it, huh?
Yeah. I cannot remember this day because the doctor told me if you just in time, otherwise she can die.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And all because you followed your intuition. You heard the voice and you followed it right away.
I just heard the voice in the shower. I just grabbed my rope and get out from the shower. Even didn't finish my shower. I just saw my mom is shaking so bad. She couldn't talk, she couldn't stand, she couldn't see when her eyes were closed.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you shook her away, and then from that point forward, she was fine?
Now she's fine. Absolutely fine.
Whoa.
Just the doctor told me you are just in time.
Just think about that. All the things that have to fall right in place.
Even she didn't know. She didn't know what happened with her. She didn't know absolutely. I called even 911, but they came, but everything was perfect.
They couldn't find anything wrong, huh?
Nothing, absolutely.
But it was basically a heart attack that happened?
Not heart attack, nothing, absolutely.
Oh, jeez.
Nothing. It's close to the heart attack, but was nothing. She just shaking. Her eyes was closed. She couldn't stand. She couldn't talk. Absolutely.
Wow. Any other ones you can think of?
Oh no.
I know they're
I
gonna.
don't want to remember anymore.
No, I'm
because,
sorry. No,
yeah.
I didn't know if they were
No,
all
I'm
traumatic
just,
or.
I'm very emotional right now. I'm
sorry.
No. That's fine. I just remember the situation, and I feel the same situation again with my mom will happen. Yeah.
I find it interesting that you followed your instinct.
Yeah, instinct, very, yeah.
I remember this one time I was dating this girl at the time who I think was just hypnotizing me, and I don't know what was going on, but I was just like under her command. And I'm so glad I'm out of that programming. But I remember I woke up to the sound of what sounded like my own voice, and it said, Kurt. And I woke up, and all of a sudden, I started getting a whole bunch of these text messages from this crazy girl I was dating. Like, it was seconds after I heard my voice say that. And it was like, it was like paragraphs. And there's another couple times, too, where I've definitely heard a distinct voice. And it was either, warning me of something or, like, getting my attention that something was about to happen.
And the same voice always.
Yeah, it sounded like myself, almost. Like, it was weird. The voice that you heard, did it sound, is it always the same kind?
Yes.
Wow. That stuff fascinates me.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's good. It's really good.
My buddy John frequently talks with his dead grandfather. Like, he'll just talk with him, and he says, Grandpa, let's try to reach my cousin Elisa. Let's see if we can just have her try to reach me. If you can have her reach me, I would love that. And all of a sudden, he gets a phone call from his cousin Elisa. And he goes, Elisa, why are you calling me right now? And she goes, I don't know. I just suddenly had a feeling that I needed to call you right now. He goes, I was just kind of talking mentally with Grandpa, and I said, hey, see if Elisa can call me. And so it's really cool, and we can kind of form that kind of relationship with whatever's on the other side or whatever's, vibrating right here in this parallel dimension with us. It's intriguing to know that that's something we can have a relationship with. How late do you usually work when you're driving Uber?
Oh, actually I'm working after my nursing. Until 10 o'clock. Not every day. Sometimes, maybe 3 days a week, or 1, 2.
What do you like to do in your free time?
Oh, now right now we are doing construction. I don't have any free time right now. Absolutely. I'm very busy reading. Nighttime. Reading and reading.
Do you notice your imagination expands more when you read?
I think so. Yeah.
I've been reading a biography about Mr. Rogers lately, and it just has me crying so much because there's so much kindness in his heart and what he does and his motivations behind everything, and how his whole crew, his whole ensemble of people who worked with him were all in that same understanding and mindset. And it was just amazing how he just inspired this populace and the people, well into their later years. And it's just fascinating to learn about this guy and charting the progress of his life and the things that interested him as a little kid, and how those little seeds grew into what he ended up doing later on in life. Did you ever watch Mr. Rogers?
I have a video. My friend sent me it from David. Oh, how was his last name? What was the last name? David McKenna? Oh. Psychology. He's giving the lessons psychology. Sometimes it's very good. I think everybody needs to listen to him. It's in my email. What was the name? My last name. David. You cannot find it on YouTube. I tried to find, but I couldn't. But I have in my email. She sent it to me because when the classes here.
Mm-hmm.
It is so helpful.
But it's just so interesting whenever I find myself reading any kind of book, I always see parallels of what's going on in that book in my reality. I see a lot of interesting metaphors.
Comparing with your reality?
Yeah. Like working hand in hand with it, synchronistically and stuff. Stuff that I read about, and then I see it in my real life, and it's like, when you see that stuff coinciding with thoughts that you had earlier in the day and deep conversations you had with a friend or something.
You are a very emotional person. You are a very emotional person?
Perhaps. I know I crave imagination. I think if I was addicted to something, I'm addicted to ideas. I just can't get enough of them.
Oh.
I love making connections between stuff. I love epiphanies and those, inventions, stuff like that. It always thrills me to talk to people who explore their imaginations and kind of go off in a direction that their inspiration is kind of nudging them towards.
Imagination.
Mm-hmm. Did you see Licorice Pizza?
I did not, no. I want to. I was kind of waiting for see it with my lady because she wants to see it.
It's a cool movie. I like it. I think it's really, really cool.
I love that director, so I'll watch anything he does, so I'm sure I'll...
What's interesting, because there's a mattress sort of theme in that movie, and was it Magnolia? I think it was Magnolia. What's his name? Played a mattress guy. Or he worked out of a mattress store anyway.
Yeah. Paul Thomas grew up around here, like in the valley his whole life, so I think he
It's-
probably just had a lot of exposure to that.
It's so cool to see, like, how much he showcases the valley in his movies.
It's always kind of a character, and if it's set here, then he always makes it a point to make it like a love story kind of to San Fernando Valley, because he lived here his whole life.
It's just so cool because, you know, when you hear him mentioning names that you're familiar with and you're going, wow, he just said Hatteras. You know, like some just like...
Yeah, he goes to, my fiance's mom has been working at the same diner in Tarzana for like 30 years. It's called The Little Cafe.
Oh my gosh, and does he go there?
He and his wife, because he's married to Maya Rudolph, and they go in there all the time.
Whoa.
It's like their spot. So her mom is like kind of buddies with Maya Rudolph, and then
Oh my gosh.
he'll come in sometimes. They have like 5 kids too, so they'll come
That's
in
so
with
cool.
all their kids and stuff.
Wow.
And one of my best friends actually was in one of his movies.
Oh my gosh.
A few years ago, he was in Inherent Vice with Joaquin Phoenix.
I still have yet to see that one.
It's really good. You would like it because it's very like acid trippy. Like kind of the whole movie, you're not really sure if what you're seeing is real or if it's surreal or if it's in his head. Like you don't really ever know because he's like a big stoner. It's like a private detective in the 70s, and he's got the big like mutton chops, and
Oh my god.
everybody's dressed like a hippie, and he's like, it's kind of like Chinatown but on LSD. It's like Chinatown on acid.
Oh
kind of.
boy. Wow.
It's really good, and it's trippy, and it's a little hard to follow sometimes because it's very like
Man.
introspective and kind of weird, and like there'll be just weird shit. Like he'll be looking out over the desert, and you'll see like little people like start to move like with the rocks, and then he'll kind of like blink his eyes, and then it like wasn't real. You know, like he's always kind of on drugs the whole movie. So
Wow.
my buddy plays. He doesn't have very many lines. I think he has like 2 lines or something, but he plays kind of his like sidekick that's just running around with him for different parts of the movie. And he's in a scene with Martin Short, so we got to film and hang out with Martin Short for a couple of days.
Whoa.
He was like giving him advice, and like I said, he was a really nice guy, and he had to go back to Canada, but he like gave him some advice out of his car window as he was like driving off the lot.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
And, yeah, it was a great experience. And unfortunately, things have kind of slowed down since then. Everybody was, you know, all our friends, everybody around him was like, "You made it, man. This is your break. You're in a Paul Thomas movie, and you're, you know, one of the." It wasn't the lead role. He didn't really have lines, but he was just there on screen a lot. You know. With, with Joaquin. And,
oh my gosh.
But you know, as so often happens in the acting world, it's like he kind of just got cold and didn't really do a lot after that. You know, in the last 3 or 4 years, he hasn't really booked much. So just one of those things. He's constantly doing auditions. I mean, he probably does 2 or 3 auditions a week for the last few years. You know, and just waiting on the right thing, I guess.
I think now more than ever, what's cool is that these actors can kind of carve their own path, and you know, like, you know, instead of going, you know, from this sort of desperate point of view of going, you know, I hope an agent gets my headshot. Oh, I hope that agent now represents me. Oh, I hope they send me out on an audition.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope I get called in. Oh, I hope I get a callback. I hope I get the job. You know, there's a whole bunch of steps there where the people are like, oh, please accept me. And so that could really mentally just really screw with a lot of people. And I think, like, when people kind of take this into their own hands and go, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and use my camera phone. Yeah. It shoots in 4K. And just shoot my, you know, like, this will be one of those things where it's like the story will surpass whatever the quality of the camera is, as long as it sounds good. And plus, now it's like distributors are all over the place to help get your stuff up on iTunes and Amazon and stuff like that. And I just think like this is one of the revelations that have popped in my head frequently over the years when I think about like these retired actors or people who say, oh, well, I've never gotten called, I don't get called in anymore, or why doesn't Hollywood want me? I'm like, well, I'm thinking, I mean, I'm assuming maybe they've got some money in the bank. I don't know. But I also assume that perhaps they know a lot of other out-of-work actors. And I always think, well, why don't you guys just all get together? I'm sure you know a writer or 5. Hook up with a writer. Say, hey, write a script that has all of us in it, and we will fund it, and there we go.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's never really expressed interest in that. It depends on who you are, I guess, and what your skill set is and what your initiative is towards filmmaking. I mean, he's always wanted to be a musician, and acting just kind of fell in his lap. Because he started doing extra work, and he's a good-looking guy, and he's got a good physique, and just, managed to book, like, I think he was like a body double for somebody on American Horror Story, and, like, just started doing more and more of those little roles where it could kind of pay the bills, and then he got a couple of big things that he's still getting residuals on. So
wow,
more of a kind of fell to his lap. He never really like. I wouldn't say he's like passionate about filmmaking or acting really. I mean, he enjoys it, but he's always wanted to do music, so he tries to kind of split his time between writing music and trying to get it recorded and doing auditions for that. But yeah, you're right. I mean, you could just go out and create something right now. But it's funny, I mean, we think it's changed a lot, but I don't know. From my point of view, with knowing about his world and what he does, it really hasn't changed all that much. I mean, he still has an agent manager that are giving him roles, still auditions. It's like, and it's still really typecasty. He's like blonde with longer hair and surfer kind of stoner kind of look, and that's for the most part the parts that he gets, sent to him and stuff. It's just, it's still kind of like as evolved as we think we are. We're really not. I mean, actors still get pretty much typecast. It's like, do you look pretty good for the role? Like, okay, you got it. As opposed to, being creative or imaginative about, who could be in the role. They're just like, you look like the part, so you got this one.
Yeah, it's been famously said that like casting directors don't have too much of a imagination. It's like, oh gosh, we'd love to hire you. You're the perfect height. You're the perfect weight. You're everything. You look perfect. But if only your hair were red,
right.
And it's like, well, so could I just go ahead and just color it, right? They're not thinking about that.
Wigs exist.
Yeah.
So it's called acting. So I could modify myself.
You're right. I could modify myself.
It's kind of the gig. So yeah, I mean, you wouldn't be either probably if you had that job. I imagine it's not a insanely fun job. I'm sure there's some
casting director.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure.
I've done it a couple times.
I'm sure there's some creativity involved, but for the most part, you're.
Plus, you're trying to match up people who might look like a cool. It's almost like you're putting characters into a play or character that you're drawing characters or something, and you're going, oh, well, this woman's face looks really cool, and then she's got a really interesting face, or the two of them look good standing next to each other. Oh, the chemistry between them. So you go through this like big sifting process.
It's probably like any other job. You do it for long enough, and you don't want to show up to work every day and be like, today I'm going to be really innovative and creative. You're just like, okay, I got to see this many people. You good for the role? Okay, cool. You look good for the role, and then job done. Like, go home and that's a lot of people. I think it's a rare person that would take a lot of like gusto and whatever, bring it to a job like that. As opposed to the majority of people are probably just gonna like.
Dude, it is tricky. It's tricky trying to whittle that down. I mean, God, you'll be in there for 10-hour days, looking at all these different people, and some people are sitting out there for 4 hours because they keep getting called in to interact with some other actress. Like, oh, okay, let's see, do you look like a brother and sister?
Right.
So it is crazy, like how the stuff whittles down, and then at the last second you'd be surprised. Like a movie that I shot, the guy and his girlfriend, they were like together. The director did something that offended the girl, and so she and her husband were out. So we had to find 2 new people at the last second. And my buddy just swooped in. Like, he can memorize lines so fast. And I go, oh, can you be this part? And so he came in. He actually read for a completely different part. But he was so crazy. Like, when stuff like that happens, too, where you're like, oh, my gosh, this person didn't show up. Or
yeah, I mean, it's tough. I would say, I don't think it's, like, cynical as much as it is realistic to say that it's probably, like, 70% looks and 30% everything else. Like, talent.
You definitely want the talented people.
I mean, but
And then talented from there, you're like, okay, what do they work with each other? You know, is the chemistry good? You want to make sure that the chemistry between them is good.
For sure. But isn't a good percentage of it or majority of it like, do you just look like, you physically look like this person or this character, you know? I'd say that's probably
Possibly.
a lot of it, right?
I mean, I guess, you know, like if a director has a certain
wrong with that. I
vision.
mean, there's enough people that want to do it that look like different people that, you know, you could always probably find something that you're, but it's like my buddy, you know, he's got longer blonde hair and muscular, so he gets surfer parts, or he gets, you know, the athlete, or he gets the, you know, that's just what, it's not hard for a casting director to like, you know, I'm really gonna stretch, you know, the imagination on this one for the most part.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you look like this part. So,
Well, there's that old story where Dustin Hoffman, like, for The Graduate, he was supposed to be like a taller guy or something,
Yeah.
blonde guy, and he ended up getting the role just because he was so good and so, like, in the moment with these actors.
for sure, yeah.
And I love, like, when you hear success stories like that. There's this guy named Frank who we didn't call back for this first movie, but he came back to the callbacks anyway, and he ended up getting the job. He just ended up showing up to the callbacks, you know? And he's like, you know, he really wanted the part. And it was just so cool, because it's like you want people who want the part for sure,
Yeah.
aren't just phoning it in.
Yeah.
You know, find something relatable to that character, and then also, you know, have this thing going on with the other actors. And it is such a tricky, because that's a funny thing. It's like actors like, oh, they didn't choose me, they hate me. And it's like, no, there's so many millions of factors going on that, like, somebody has to get the part, and then what that means is many people, others cannot get that part. You know, so it's like no matter what, wherever the Plinko machine lands, you know.
Yeah, for sure. It's yeah, you know, not everybody's gonna be great at it. Like that's the thing. It's like, of all the people that want to act, they're not all gonna be good at it. Like, you know, it's just the nature. Like, I mean, still do it if you want, if that's what you've always wanted to do, and you're passionate about it. Like, there's things you can do. You know, I know a couple of guys that are just commercial actors. That's all they've ever done. They'd probably like to do more, but that's just they've kind of pigeonholed themselves, or they've been pigeonholed into being like the guy. And there's one guy I know, Mike, who's just in like every commercial. Like,
wow.
I see commercials and it's just like, oh, it's him again. And he probably makes a good amount of money from it, but maybe he wants to, you know, do a Scorsese movie. But it's just like you get kind of lumped into that world too. That's a whole different kind of crazy corporate world of companies and political correctness, and, you know, I don't know. It's interesting. I thought that I wanted to act for a while, because I did it all through school and I was pretty good at it. I was in a bunch of plays, really good at memorizing lines, and I thought it was, you know, I went to, did a couple state competitions, like drama competitions in high school that we got first at, and like,
Cool.
I had to do that scene from A Few Good Men. I had to do Nicholson's part where I give him the whole speech, but you can't handle the truth.
Awesome.
But then I came out here and I was like, oh, you know, it kind of warped my, going from theater acting in Iowa to try to enter into this business out here. I was like, and I knew music was always going to be my thing. So I was like, instead of half-assing two things, I should probably just whole-ass one thing, and just seeing how difficult it is for acting. I mean, it's just a hard life. Like, it's a hard life for musicians too, but at least I can supplement with stuff that is still related to music, like this, where obviously I'm not playing on stage or doing anything creative when I'm in my tour manager role, but I'm around music and I'm in the music industry. But acting, it's kind of like, you know, that's why so many actors are bartenders or waiter, because it's like there's not really, unless you're like a PA, which it can also be kind of fun because you're on different sets and you're, but yeah, I don't know, it's just tough. It's a tough life. It's a hard pill to swallow when you realize how many people are trying to do it, and the realistic odds of you being, you know, experiencing a living from just acting is,
well, that's if people go from that, I mean, yes, for sure. If people go from that perspective of thinking that they are, you know, competing with all these other people for these roles. I mean, there's so many surprising things that happen where, let's say if someone was so excited, let's say if your buddy was excited and he's like, you know what, I've always wanted to be, you know, a completely, vastly different role. I'm going to write myself a 3-minute movie and, you know, and make this thing.
Yeah.
And that's how dedicated to the craft I am. And just by hammering away, what I've noticed through various projects I've experimented with, created on Through the World, is that they no matter what, they get momentum. And it's funny because the people who want to be a part of it and want to see what's going on, those are the people that you actually just keep playing to as if they're the only thing that matters. And what's interesting, as a result of that, they keep sharing it, go, hey, come on, look at this, you know. And it's incredible when you start seeing how that works. And just by simply doing what you love, just continually doing what you love, and it's just nuts, because as you carve your own path without that worry of going, oh my gosh, I have to compete against these people, or it's oversaturated in this department. It's the idea of going, what can I do with these talented people who I have in my life, locations, et cetera, I'll shoot in front of a green screen, whatever it is, and go, let me make my own thing. And like, there are tons of people who are doing that. People can make Patreon pages. They can have a TikTok that leads them to the Patreon page. But
yeah, no, I mean, all things are possible.
And I think anybody who's doing a job that they don't want to be doing, one would hope that in their off time, they're just only doing what they absolutely love doing. You know, and if that means acting or making crazy voices in front of a thing and becoming famous on TikTok for making impressions or what have you, these unexpected things happen. It's crazy. I mean, I believe more in the unexpected than I do in what might be an analytical probability, I guess, because I'm looking at it like going, oh, okay, well, if that probability exists, this probability also exists, and by having those, earmarks in my brain of when it has worked in a most magnanimous way, unexpected, I go, whoa, I've got so many examples of this. I can't discount any of this.
Well, that's why I wanted to do this podcast, because I don't have any preconceived notions about it being some crazy success, but at the very least, I have control over the creation and distribution of it. Mm-hmm. And I don't have to be beholden to waiting around for my producer friends to hit me up about a music project, or waiting to get something together with other people to do some musical project. Is like the most appealing thing about it, even if it doesn't go anywhere, even if nothing ever happens from it, is that it's a self-run business, content creation that I am in complete control over.
Yes.
It's the most appealing part about it. Even if it's, like I said, even if I don't make any money, it's like I like talking with people, and it doesn't cost really hardly any money. You don't need a lot of capital to start a podcast.
Not at all. In fact, nothing.
I'm gonna buy a microphone. I'm investing like maybe $1,000, which in the grand scheme of things, for most businesses is nothing. But just to buy a microphone and a couple pieces of equipment that I don't have, and recording the intro music, and like a logo design with my friend who's a graphic artist, like that type of stuff. But only a few things, a photograph of me for the thumbnail of it or whatever. But after I have music, logo, and picture, it's about it, and the microphone. And then all you need is just to do the thing, just record it.
That's right. Yeah.
So,
there's nobody's permission. You are the authority on that creation. Yes. Yes.
It's potentially mobile, which is appealing too. Like if I was on tour for 3 weeks or whatever, there's a world where I could just set up the laptop on the tour bus and
you can
record it right there.
Yes.
So
you can record it on your phone too.
That's another appealing thing, is like being able to take it wherever I need to do it as well, instead of having to go someplace like a studio. I mean, down the road it would be nice to have like a nice studio. I try to do video. I don't think I'm going to do video up off the cuff, because I think it's pretty daunting. Like thinking about adding video to it, it's a lot. It's like cameras, and you got to do video editing, and you got to somebody to do that. So I think you add a lot more to the process by doing video, but maybe we'll get there eventually.
I think if you just excite yourself with just creating it, that's what made me make my podcast, because I was just like, dude, it's so Anchor is what I use. Yeah. Anchor.fm. It's just an app. You download it. You can record it at any time, anywhere, and you can record the segments. And then if you got on your laptop, you can put some audio right in there too. Yeah. And so you can build the segments. You can build the episode how you want.
Right.
So that means that you can use your, your fancy microphone, or you could just simply use your whatever's on your phone.
Right. And it's not fancy. It's like $300, but it's the one everybody uses. It's like the Shure SM7B. It's the one that looks kind of like a pill with the foam on it, and it's not. I mean, it's not like the nicest microphone in the world, but it's a good one for talking. It's like a good talking microphone.
Right.
It's like $300. It's not crazy. So you get me one of those, and I've already got Ableton on my laptop, which is recording software. I got an interface to plug everything in and get that run. So I pretty much have everything I need other than
Dude, once you get the momentum going, it's going to become addictive, because you start finding that you accidentally start growing this audience of people who really love hearing your epiphanies and ideas and theories and all that stuff, and it becomes a beacon, and it becomes this magnet for all those people who relate to that content. And before you know it, you'll have people out in you can look at your analytics if you choose to go through Anchor, because they distribute it through Spotify and all these other places, and it's just so fun, because knowing that it's available on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, all these different things, and all you got to do is just go, okay, through the app, there it goes. I don't have to pay for anything.
Yeah, there's a few I haven't heard of that one specifically, but there's a few I've been watching a bunch of YouTube videos of people kind of describing the process of getting your RSS feed.
Yes, and that's
that link, and how a few different services will not only give you that, but then click of a button, distribute it to Google and Apple and Spotify. So
that's what Anchor does. And what you can do is you can copy that RSS and find any other. I searched like a wild man online to find any sort of podcast app or directory that said submit to us your RSS feed. And man, I submitted that RSS feed to so many of these people. Some of them I just outright emailed the RSS feed in the iTunes link and said, "Oh, can you include my podcast in your directory?" And it's crazy when you look at the analytics. Like today, I was looking. There's a place in Houts de France. Someone out there is listening to the podcast. Nice. Someone out in Iceland is listening to the podcast. Someone in Arkansas. Like, it's nuts when you see and you start looking at those stats and you're going, oh my gosh, to think that there might be some farmer driving around on his tractor listening to the podcast while he's, or milking the cows or something.
Yeah.
And listening to this completely different universe that they're not used to.
No, it's cool. I think the most intimidating part for me is just marketing and promotion. I've never been traditionally very good at that, because I'm more of a right brain.
You're more of a guy just create the thing.
Yeah,
let someone else figure it out.
More of an artisty kind of right brain type. So having a meticulous mind when it comes to promotion and marketing is something. It'll be a nice challenge. I'm not saying that I'm not down for doing it. I mean, I'm gonna have to do it, but it's just that's the most kind of challenging part in my head to wrap my head around, because you do want to make it successful. It's not.
I mean, that is one of the least thrilling things. I mean, for me, like, anyways, like promoting myself, marketing myself. It's just like I just kind of want to create the thing and have someone else do it. But it is cool because there are systems where you can hook up your Twitter to your Instagram account, right. So you can utilize your Instagram account to put it out there, or a TikTok channel.
And you also don't want to spend $3,000 a month for a publicist. So it's like a lot of people do that, and if you make a certain amount of money, then $3,000 a month is. If that's not that much for you and you can do it, then by all means. But it gets pretty pricey when you start getting a publicist involved.
Oh my God, dude! Hey, thank you so much for the ride.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Have a great day.
Thank you too.
Thank you very much.
Ready? Yoda was almost played by a monkey. According to the book, The Making of Star Wars by J.W. Rinsler, George Lucas originally planned for Yoda to be played by an adorable monkey wearing a mask and carrying a cane. What do you think of that? Stay tuned to Inspirado Projecto for more fun facts.
Inspirado Projecto. Inspirado. It's a face palm, a balm of calm, like a napalm bomb. It's a face palm, crumbly malm of loamy alms. And how soon do you think you to do it again? It's a face palm, here it come alms, playing Brahms on prom. And how soon do you think you to do it again? And the Holmes from Guam to the cable comes, are the rom diatoms glom in their moms. It's a face palm, the book of psalms and rhymes and rums. And how soon do you think you'll do it again?